Lita, the actual retail price of your showcase is $16,005. You're over. You win, Ginger. It's her 25th anniversary. Where's that husband when we need him? Stick around here, Ginger. Ginger has won $52,665 on her 25th anniversary. And here's her husband, Bob Barker, reminding you help control the pet population at your Pet Bather News. Goodbye, everybody.
Is Roddy. Speaking for The Price is Right, a Mark Goodson television production.
Roy Tin Cup McAvoy was the best player to never hit the big time.
It's an easy game, this golf.
But when he met Dr. Molly Griswold...
I think I'm in love with you.
What? It changed everything.
I'm going to qualify for the U.S. Open.
Kevin Costner, Rene Russo.
I highly recommend the shuffle.
Tin Cup, CBS Sunday.
Coming to a TV set near you, a fresh new comedy.
It's all that in a bag of chips. You know how I love chips.
A big-budget extravaganza.
What do you need? $16 million. I don't have that.
With a cast of several.
You're Jeannie's replacement. Thank God. I'm Jeannie. Hey, you nut.
The Ellen Show, CBS Friday this fall.
You're watching the CBS2 Information Network.
Live from Fifth Avenue, this is CBS 2 News at noon.
Right now at noon, there is a courtroom battle to free New York City police officer Charles Schwarz from federal prison. He says he's innocent in the Abner Louima torture case and has a witness to back it up. Good afternoon, I'm Cindy Hsu.
I'm Michael Pomeranz. Officer Schwarz was convicted as part of the most shameful brutality cases, one of them anyway, in NYPD history.
Now today, the judge in the case will hear testimony from a new witness supporting Schwarz's claims he was never there. We have exclusive details about the case.
CBS 2 reporter Pablo Guzman is live in downtown Brooklyn outside the courthouse with more. Pablo?
Actually, that testimony has gotten underway as of 10 o'clock this morning. It is a hearing, but it has all of the feel of a trial. It has all of the life and death tension that goes on in such a courtroom proceeding. Charles Schwarz's life rests on this man, retired Sergeant Patrick Walsh, who just came forward within the last 2 months. And Schwarz is hoping that Walsh's testimony at this hearing convinces Judge Eugene Nickerson that Schwarz deserves a new trial. Now, on the witness stand, Walsh said that the key witness against Charles Schwarz, police officer Eric Turetsky, had told him right after the Abner Louima incident that he could not tell for sure who escorted Abner Louima to the bathroom because he saw them from behind. But at the trial, Turetsky said that it was Schwarz, and that helped get Schwarz convicted. Now, there was a lot of pressure at the time to build Officer Turetsky up. You may remember that Giuliani and then Commissioner Safer rushed to make a hero of Turetsky, saying that his coming forward proved there was no blue wall of silence. But others said that Turetsky came forward to save his own skin, and that because internal affairs was crawling all over the precinct, anybody who knew anything about the Louima incident would have been disciplined. By the way, Turetsky has since been promoted to detective. Now, I had to come out here to be in front of the camera to report to you, but going on right now up there is the beginning of what will be a brutal cross-examination by the U.S. attorney going after Walsh, and he's sure to make a deal of his history as a problem drinker with the New York City Police Department. It was 4 years ago today that Eric Turetsky told what he knew to then Sergeant Patrick Walsh, and it is 4 years later now that that story is coming out. Reporting live from the Brooklyn Federal Courthouse, Pablo Guzman, CBS 2.
All right, Pablo, thank you. That was CBS 2 exclusive on the Louima case. Last night, our Vince Demetri broke the story on Nightcast that there is new evidence of a secret audio tape that could make Charles Schwarz a free man. Federal sources tell Vince that this tape allegedly has Abner Louima admitting that Officer Schwarz was not in the bathroom when he was tortured by Officer Justin Volpe. A man identified as Witness X says that he secretly taped Louima absolving Schwarz, but there are problems. Witness X is looking to cut a deal with the feds in an unrelated case. Plus, the tape's in pretty bad shape, and it's in Creole. Sources say the 3 defense lawyers were notified by the U.S. Attorney about Witness X. Vince Dementri continuing to work this story for you. He'll have more exclusive details tonight at 5 o'clock.
A very happy day in Queens. Firefighter Joseph Facilla, who was critically injured in the deadly Father's Day fire, was released from Elmhurst Hospital. As CBS 2's Michael Aluni tells us, Facilla received a hero's treatment by a sea of his comrades.
Firefighter Joe Facilla got a hero's welcome as he was wheeled out of Elmhurst Hospital after a 2-month recovery.
Like everybody else here, the doctors have been wonderful. Also, the nurses who were treating me here have been phenomenal. They're all angels. God bless them, too.
The 41-year-old Facilla was critically injured in the Father's Day fire and explosion that ripped through an Astoria hardware store. The fire killed 3 fellow firefighters, Brian Fahey, Harry Ford, and John Downing.
Unfortunately for the brothers that passed away at the job, let's bow our heads for a second. God bless them and their families.
Facilla was crushed beneath a pile of bricks when a wall collapsed during the fire. He suffered a broken pelvis and damage to almost every organ in his body.
I pretty much remember everything that happened. I actually even remember being buried under the bricks, knowing that I couldn't move out, and just telling myself to relax and take a couple of breaths and know I had good people around me and they were going to come and help me.
We're so proud of you, Joe. You're an exceptional man. You represent the very best in the fire department. And your mom is a great lady.
Firefighter Facilla has a long road ahead. He's being transferred to a rehabilitation center at Mount Sinai Hospital, where he's expected to undergo another 6 weeks of therapy. At Elmhurst Hospital, Michael Oluni, CBS 2.
That Father's Day fire was started accidentally. 2 boys spilled gasoline near the hardware store. The fuel leaked into the building, igniting a boiler and sparked the explosion. No charges were filed.
A 4-year-old girl was apparently forgotten on a school bus, and now 2 people are under arrest. Police say the girl's parents, who are staying at a homeless shelter in Canarsie, called police last night when she didn't come home from the Nat Turner Daycare Center. Officers tracked down the driver who was supposed to drop off that little girl. She was found asleep in that van in a parking lot. Sean Holly, the driver, and Denise Hoyt, the school's matron, are charged with endangering the welfare of a child. A window washer has been rescued after spending a frightening half hour hanging from a scaffold. That man was dangling about 10 stories high from a building on 64th Street and 1st Avenue in Manhattan. Firefighters managed to grab him through a window and bring him to safety. Nobody was hurt.
All systems are back to normal on the Long Island Railroad's Port Jefferson branch. That's a big relief for the thousands of commuters who had to take alternate transportation since the train derailed on Monday. The flash floods created a small river that wiped away a section of tracks near Syosset. That caused an empty train to derail. Service was finally back to normal late last night.
In Connecticut, Kennedy cousin Michael Skakel's in court preparing to fight charges that he killed a teenage girl when he was 15 years old. CBS 2 reporter John Slattery was in the courtroom this morning. He joins us now with the late details. John?
Right, Michael Skakel just left the courthouse about 3 minutes ago. He said nothing on his way out. He got into a car and drove off. He'd been hoping for a dismissal of the case today. The hearing just ended with no decision.
Michael Skakel is still hoping for a dismissal of murder charges, especially now that a key witness against him is dead. A former classmate of Skakel, 39-year-old Greg Coleman, died a week ago of an apparent heroin overdose. In pretrial hearings, he'd quoted Skakel as saying, "I'm going to get away with murder. I'm a Kennedy," end quote. Coleman said that was in 1978 when the 2 men were students at a school for substance abusers in Maine. Skakel, a nephew of Ethel and the late Robert F. Kennedy, is accused of beating 15-year-old Martha Moxley with a golf club 26 years ago outside her family's home in Greenwich, Connecticut. Skakel's attorney believes that the statute of limitations of 5 years that existed when the killing took place should still stand in this case.
Now, the defense spent some time and cited cases stating that the statute of limitations should stand. However, the prosecution cited cases saying that murder is murder and there should be no timeline. The defense would like to have a dismissal as soon as possible. The judge said he will decide, but he will not decide today. Reporting live from Stamford, John Slattery, CBS 2.
All right, John, thank you. I have some breaking news to tell you about right now. The city's health commissioner has announced that 6 pools of mosquitoes have tested positive for West Nile. They were all found in Staten Island, and as a result, the city's expanded its spraying attack to include Willowbrook Pond and the Brady Bond Park area. Again, 6 pools of mosquitoes in Staten Island have tested positive for the West Nile virus, and stay with CBS 2 for the latest on our West Nile Watch on First News at 4.
CBS 2 brings you up to date now on dog biting on Long Island. The town of Babylon has voted it is a crime when a dog attacks another dog. Now, under the law, a judge can order a dog euthanized or confined and could impose a fine of up to $1,000. Owners would also have to have a $100,000 insurance policy. Until now, penalties were only imposed when dogs attacked cattle or horses, not other dogs or cats. Well, there is a monkey on the loose on Long Island. The Capuchin monkey named Coco escaped from its cage at the Animal Farm Petting Zoo in Manorville. He got away on Saturday after a visit to a Brooklyn nursing home with some other animals. Coco looks very much like a Capuchin. She is brown and white, about a foot tall. Anyone who sees Coco should call 631-878-1785. That's 631-878-1785.
Well, thanks to some big hitting and incredible pitching, the Baby Bombers from the Bronx are on their way to the Little League World Series. With a 2-0 win in last night's regional final, the Rolando Paulino All-Stars become the first Bronx team to make it to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And in a dominating performance, 12-year-old Danny Almonte struck out 16 hitters on the way to his 3rd no-hitter of the season. The Baby Bombers broke the game open in the 3rd inning with solo homers from Rolando Torres and Hector Rodriguez.
It was really fun and excited because we knew he was gonna hit the last strike. We're gonna play hard and try to win the World Series.
Little League World Series begins on Saturday afternoon. The Bronx All-Stars play a team from Florida.
So great. As the sole survivor of Friday's chopper crash over the Grand Canyon fights for her life, we have new details about the crash that killed several of her friends.
More bombings and violence in Israel. We're going to have the latest on the Middle East turmoil.
And if you or someone you know has a pacemaker, you'll want to pay close attention to our Health Watch.
Are you happy in New York? Most New Yorkers are. Coming up, the results of a new survey.
Closed captioning on CBS 2 is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota.
Well, hi, Elaine.
Martha, we've missed you at Bridge Club. Having trouble getting around?
Yes, I am. What I really need is a Lark scooter like yours. Then I could ride out here and get the mail.
You're right. This scooter has made my life much easier. You know, Martha, you really should get one. Lark is the best, after all.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, come on in, Jane. I've been thinking about you, and I'm making your favorite cookies.
I can smell them.
Heartburn caused by acid reflux. Some prescription medicines promise you freedom from the pain.
But what kind of freedom is getting locked into taking a pill every day?
Ask your doctor. He may recommend you take Gaviscon whenever you need it. Gaviscon tablets are different. They become smooth and creamy on the way down, forming a soothing protective barrier that helps keep acid down.
Why get locked in to taking a pill every day when Gaviscon gives me relief?
Gaviscon, relief from acid reflux without a prescription.
Have you been mattress shopping lately? All the gimmicks, the promises, and dealing with those so-called professionals for a decent price? That's why I trust the real bedding experts from Macy's. They won't be undersold, so I know I'm getting the best possible price.
Now through Sunday, this is the sale. Save 50% plus 10% and extra dollars off selected Posturepedic and Perfect Sleeper styles with no payments or interest for 6 months.
For the guaranteed low price, come to Macy's or call 1-800-MACY-BED.
New Vim. Be healthy and energetic. Drink New Vim. You'll love how you feel.
New information today about the helicopter crash that killed a pilot and 5 Brooklyn tourists. The pilot and one of those tourists apparently burned to death after that chopper clipped some rocks, burst into flames before crashing. Autopsies of the 2 men revealed they died of burns. The medical examiner found no evidence of drugs or alcohol in the pilot's body. The sole survivor of the crash remains in critical condition in a hospital in Las Vegas.
Israeli officials say they have arrested several suspected members of the militant Islamic Jihads. Officials say the men were planning a major suicide bombing near the Israeli port city of Haifa. There have been 2 suicide bombings in the past week. Meanwhile, Israeli undercover troops killed a Palestinian militant in the West Bank today. The killing came just hours after paratroopers took positions at the entrance of another West Bank community. And the violence in the Middle East is causing trouble for some music fans. The group Red Hot Chili Peppers had to cancel its concert in Israel because of fears for their safety. This is the first time a major group has canceled a concert in Israel because of the violence.
If your eyes and nose have been itching, maybe a simple reason, ragweed on the rise. We'll explain.
And shoppers beware, your favorite store may be charging you tax on tax-exempt clothes.
Plus, Janine Diadamo with your weather forecast. Janine?
Hey, you guys, you're inside. I know it's cold in that studio, but out here, actually, it feels kind of cool and breezy. For someone like me, I say it's chilly. Let's talk temperatures when we come back. Stay with us.
How can the CBS2 Information Network save you money? Today at 5, buying a home? Before you sign for a mortgage, we'll help you spot the hidden fees. A CBS2 On the Money report. See what's new in local news today at 5.
Medicare medication coverage. Are you having difficulty using inhalers or mixing your breathing medications? Do you use Preventil or Albuterol, Atrovent, Combivent, or other breathing medications? Did you know that if you qualify, Medicare covers breathing medications that are already premixed? To find out if you qualify, call us at Med4Home, toll free at 1-800-949-3988.
Planning to sell your home or condo this year? You're probably wondering how much it's worth. You can find out free on the web at housevalues.com. So if you're planning to sell, visit housevalues.com today. That's housevalues.com.
Thousands of razor-sharp teeth, 8 gigantic tentacles, 18 brilliant neon colors, hundreds of happy smiles. It's all at Atlantis Marine World. Walk the ancient ruins of the lost city of Atlantis. See our amazing 120,000-gallon shark exhibit, a spectacular sea lion show. Catch over 80 thrilling exhibits. Atlantis Marine World, Main Street, Riverhead. Call now, 631-208-9200. Our sharks are waiting for you.
Taking fiber? Now Citrusel fiber comes in caplets. No more gloppy glass of Metamucil that can cause excess gas. Citrusel's fiber is different. No excess gas. New Citrusel caplets. Don't just have a regular day. Have a great day.
How can we improve New York's public schools?
My mother was a school teacher, so I know what a difference a good education makes. I visited 50 city schools to see for myself what works. My plan would reduce class size, make it easier to fire bad teachers, and pay teachers more, especially for improved performance. And if we don't improve our schools, you can hold me accountable.
Mark Green, educating our kids, protecting our families.
What if you lost someone who meant everything to you? What if you never got to say goodbye? On August 27th, John Edward could make it happen. Crossing Over, weekdays at 3 on CBS2.
Here's something die-hard shoppers have probably noticed. Not all New York City stores are nixing the sales tax on clothes. According to a City Council survey, 2 out of 5 retailers still charge customers tax on clothes and shoes under $110. It's a little better than last summer when 50% of stores charged tax. City Council Speaker Peter Vallone says he'll push for a law requiring retailers to list exempt items next to register.
Investors are searching for direction, and AOL Time Warner is having another tough day on Wall Street. For those stories and the latest numbers, let's go over to Alexis Christoforous. She's in the CBS MarketWatch.com newsroom. Alexis, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Michael. Well, the trading day started out promising, but the market has since done an about-face, and stocks are, you guessed it, moving lower. The Dow Industrial is now down about 37 points. Checking in on the NASDAQ Composite, ditto, it's down about 38. Dell Computer had its earnings projection slashed today by an analyst at CS First Boston. Dell, by the way, rolls out its profits tomorrow. And the chip equipment maker Applied Materials said profit tumbled 95%, but that was still better than expected. Investors also got excited after Applied said it sees a turnaround in the chip industry early next year. Well, U.S. Airways' planned merger with United Airlines fell apart last month, and now U.S. Airways is taking steps to survive, including using smaller regional jets on less profitable routes and closing reservation centers in San Diego and Albany. AOL is slashing the price of its email gadget. AOL members can buy the pager-like device for about $100. That's down from $329. But AOL raised the cost of its monthly service by $10 a month to $29.95. AOL Time Warner stock, by the way, is getting clobbered for a second straight day. There is talk on the street that the company is about to lay off 1,000 workers in its online division to cut costs and make its profit numbers. AOL is not commenting on that report. And you can track your stocks at cbs.marketwatch.com. Cindy, let's toss it back to you.
Alexis, thank you. In our Health Watch this noon, a new report detailing hundreds of thousands of faulty pacemakers and other heart-regulating devices. Researchers say more than 500,000 devices were involved in recalls and safety alerts during the 1990s. The problems were largely due to hardware malfunctions or computer errors. They were linked to a handful of deaths, and most of the devices turned out to be okay. But the research published in today's Journal of the American Medical Association says the recalls and alerts can cause psychological damage among the growing number of patients who use the implanted heart devices.
Hay fever sufferers in New Jersey get ready for the big achoo. Health officials say the ragweed season in the Garden State started about a month early this year, the end of July. You may not have been feeling it because the heat wave wilted the growing ragweed plants and held down the spread of the pollen. But they are weeds after all, so they are still alive. And now, after all the heavy rain, the ragweed will be perking up to make you miserable.
I'm one of those people.
Are you?
I'm always sniffling.
That Allegra stuff at Claret whatever?
All that stuff. Yeah, I take it all. I know. Still not working. Anyway, Janine is outside checking out the weather for us. How's it going?
How are you guys? You know what? I'm real sensitive to ragweed as well, and you can't kill those weeds. That's the problem. Heat, 103-degree temperatures last week didn't kill them. They're back. Again, a lot of people are sniffling and sneezing, but everybody can agree this is great weather we're seeing out there right now. Temperatures in most of our cities are right at 80 degrees or below. In fact, at 11 o'clock, let's take a look at some of those temperatures. We were in the 70s still in Central Park. Now live pictures showing you blue skies, a little bit of haze. A lot of that's just pollution. And the current temperature, Central Park, 78. Right now, the humidity is dropping. This morning, it was near 100%. Now it's 62%. We're seeing northeasterly winds at about 10 miles per hour. You might be able to hear those against my microphone a little bit. And we are going to notice a gorgeous day. Look at this. Right now in Brooklyn at Borough Park, it's 80 degrees. Astoria, 77. Riverdale, 73. The coolest number there in the Bronx. Tribeca right now reporting 78. Central Park also not quite 80 degrees. No 80s on our regional map. Everybody is nice and comfortable in the 70s at this time. You couldn't ask for better weather when the average is 84. Hey, I want to talk about the tropics. Brand new, this just happened. We have a tropical depression number 3 out in the Atlantic. See it at the bottom of your screen? We do think it will reach tropical storm strength by tomorrow morning and make its way towards the Windward Islands. That would include around Puerto Rico, around St. Thomas, islands like that. Right now, wind speed 35 miles per hour, but we are expecting again for it to become a tropical storm by this time tomorrow. And the sea storm is Chantal. So that's what it will be, the sea storm. All right, moving along, we'll talk about that front that is now out in the Atlantic. In fact, most of the East Coast from the barrier islands of North Carolina up towards the Delmarva Peninsula, the Chesapeake Bay, into the Long Island Sound. Gorgeous weather. The skies are clear and sunny, and that's due to high pressure. Remember, if you like afternoon sunshine, dry weather, you love high pressure. That's the weather system where the air is sinking. It usually brings clear skies in the evening. That's what's on tap tonight. And by tomorrow, watch the next storm system coming out of the Great Lakes. That's the one to watch because as high pressure moves out by Thursday night, storms will move in. Our next chance to rain basically early on Friday. Today, the high temperatures climbing to near 80, especially on any shorelines like Seagirt, Hampton Bay should be right below 80. City areas, Newark, New York, around Brooklyn, temperatures will be in the middle 80s, and tonight will be in the upper 50s to middle 60s for the overnight lows. The 5-day forecast. Here it is, that next front coming in on Friday. And just like last weekend, here's what I think. I think the front is going to stall again, and that should throw at least a chance of rain our way Saturday and Sunday. Now, still make your outdoor plans for the upcoming weekend. I wouldn't cancel them. In fact, I've got plans to go to Westbury for a big Italian festival, so I'm not going to cancel those. We're going to be outside, and we're going to hope that the rain avoids the particular festival that you might be attending this weekend. Back to you guys inside.
All right, Janine, thanks.
Well, one of Hollywood's newest star couples cruised the red carpet last night. Coming up, we're going to take you to Beverly Hills for the premiere of Captain Corelli's Mandolin. But the movie was the last thing on people's minds.
And are you happy, New York? Coming up, a new survey that says New Yorkers love where they live. This is the CBS 2 Information Network.
News on CBS 2 is brought to you by the UAW Ford Partnership.
You're on your way to help protect people. You're on your way to break down barriers. You're on your way to make people happy. You're on your way to work. The UAW Ford Partnership, working to build a better life.
Heartburn caused by acid reflux. Some prescription medicines promise you freedom from the pain.
But what kind of freedom is getting locked into taking a pill every day?
Ask your doctor. He may recommend you take Gaviscon whenever you need it. Gaviscon tablets are different. They become smooth and creamy on the way down, forming a soothing protective barrier that helps keep acid down.
Why get locked in to taking a pill every day when Gaviscon gives me relief?
Gaviscon, relief from acid reflux without a prescription.
Ever notice how many Tums you have around because your heartburn keeps coming back? There's a neater idea. New Pepcid Complete. It works as fast as Tums, but lasts 7 times longer, all in a chewable tablet. New Pepcid Complete. Just one, and heartburn's done. For a free sample, call 1-800-4PEPCID or visit our website at PepcidComplete.com.
A label our children can live without. Call 1-877-KIDS-NOW.
On the CBS 2 Information Network, we brought together the area's leading news sources for exclusive reports, neighborhood coverage, and breaking stories. See what's new in local news on the CBS 2 Information Network.
Do you know what race Brett belongs to? How about Betty and Camillo's new daughter, Juliet? The Census Bureau calls them multiracial. Tonight, a look at one of the fastest-growing population trends and why it may change the face of America forever when our special series, Dividing Lines, continues on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Mayor Winningham stars in a thriller that will keep you guessing to the last minute. Little Girl Fly Away, CBS tonight.
Teen drivers, how to make sure your kids are up to speed on car safety. Wake up to what's happening tomorrow morning on The Early Show with Brian Cumble and Jane Clayson.
Famous faces making news today, Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz. They were center of attention last night, the premiere of her new movie, Captain Corelli's Mandolin. In the film, Penelope's love interest is co-star Nicolas Cage, but Tom is her real-life leading man following his breakup with Nicole Kidman.
Now look at what's ahead today on CBS 2 First News at 4. Here are Ernie Anastas and Dana Tyler.
Today at 4, we have the afternoon's first look at news in our area and around the world, plus the forecast in your neighborhood.
And remember Moon Doggy from Gidget? Well, we'll talk with singer James Darren to find out what he's up to now.
And young women often get self-conscious about the way they look. We'll tell you how to boost your daughter's self-esteem.
We'll have that and so much more this afternoon on First News at 4. Hope you'll join us.
And then coming up today at 5, we'll have more exclusive details on the Charles Schwarz appeal case. Queens Congressman Gary Ackerman recently went to Israel, met with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, and we're going to hear directly from the congressman, find out what the two leaders spoke about. And we visit the family of the World Series-bound Bronx Little Leaguers. That's today's Maury story. These stories and a whole lot more at 5.
And don't worry, be happy. Lots of New Yorkers are, believe it or not. According to a New York Times survey, for the first time in 25 years, residents feel better with the city's safety, race relations, police, and economy. New Yorkers do continue to worry about the public schools and the cost and availability of housing. The poll also found that African Americans have a bleaker view of the city, but the gap is much smaller than it's been in the past.
That'll do it for us today at noon. I'm Michael Pomeranz.
And I'm Cindy Hsu. Thanks for joining us and have a great afternoon.